I'm here today with my friends Paul and Nicole, both of whom are independent bookstore owners. Nicole, if someone's looking for a book to get them through this pandemic, what would you recommend that they browse and find over at Bedlam Books?
I don't know if I should be worried that like A Clockwork Orange has been one of the most popular, but that book, um, American Psycho also. Okay, but for something a little less, with a little less bite, um, we have a lot of good cookbooks up there.
Oh,
And in fact, there's just a food related book that's more like a food intrigue story, The Truffle Underground, of all the
oh,
shady things that go on, you know, in the ways that people try and procure truffles and then sell them to restaurants and stuff. So
oh,
anyway, that's been a popular one. So
okay. So if we want to learn about the secret underworld
of
of truffles,
truffles.
we should head over to Bedlam Books.
Yeah, absolutely.
Paul, what about you? What would you recommend for people looking for something to spend their time with?
So this is always slightly hard for me because I'm always reading books that aren't out yet. But two of my favorite books that are out yet from 2020 are The Glass Hotel by Emily St. John Mandel,
Mhm.
um, who's the author of Station 11, which is one of my all-time favorite books. But The Glass Hotel is very, very good in its own right. And The Resistors by Gish Jen, which is a book I feel that was written almost exclusively for me because it is a dystopian novel with baseball as one of the main plot lines. Um,
Okay.
so I loved it.
Okay. So I haven't thought about underworld truffles or um, post-apocalyptic baseball or dystopian baseball. So those are two things I should sink my teeth into before the world opens back up again.
Absolutely.
What inspired you to pursue this endeavor?
Believe it or not, I actually started the store as a way to bring people back into an experiential space and not do everything online.
Mhm.
And so if you'd have talked to me 2 months ago, that's exactly what my store was shaped around and what I was aiming for. And that goes to everything, coming in for juices and smoothies and something to drink and having a drink while you're looking at the stacks and getting lost in that and, discovering new things that you hadn't thought of before. So we do specialize in used books, and we say it's from the academic to the esoteric. We have a whole range of subject matters, and we also have a selection of and remainders, which are deeply discounted. So that was the premise.
You definitely nailed that experiential piece, right? With, as you mentioned, the cafe and, a place where you really kind of want to browse and get lost in the shelves. So Paul, how about you? You're in Acton, Mass. It's Silver
Mhm,
Unicorn.
mhm.
And I would say you have a little bit different of a niche that you're focusing on.
For sure. I mean, we're more of a neighborhood or a town bookstore. We serve all ages, just new books. I got into it really because I was a sports writer and editor, and I was bored. I've been in the sports industry for 15 years. If you're not learning, you're languishing, and I was definitely languishing. And then the bookstore in my town, which had been there for over 20 years, closed. The owner wanted to retire, and people in town were upset. Um, so I said, well, maybe this is something I could take a crack at. And less than a year later, I had my own shop.
And you host a
Uh,
lot of like authors, right? And
yep, yep.
readings
We
for kids.
for sure we do story time every Saturday.
Nicole, I know you do a lot of events too at the store, and now I've seen on your Facebook page that you're doing them virtually as well now.
We mostly are doing poetry readings right now. The other type of events that I do is I do periodic um, workshops at the juice bar. It can be anything from an herbalist coming and sharing how to make tinctures, to a local woman, and she'll like do an instruction workshop on different kind of herbs to use for different ailments and things like that. So we do periodic workshops like that back at the juice bar.
So in the pandemic, obviously all stores have been forced to rethink their business model, at least temporarily. And I know both of you have been endeavoring to go online as a way to address the situation.
And we are now in all sorts of virtual corners. You know, we're doing these virtual poetry readings via Zoom. So you can look at our events calendar on our website, which is www.bedlambookcafe.com. We have an events page with the calendar that says all the stuff we're doing. You can also shop an online store. We have a totally new website. We have an online store. We're selling a selection of our Hurts and Remainders, little gifty items, chocolates, stuff like that. We've listed our rare book inventory on ABE Books, and there's a link to that from our website as well. Yeah.
It sounds like the Bedlam Book website is kind of capturing that experiential, or trying to simulate that in-store experiential feeling, right? Browsing through the rare books. And so, Paul, what about you? What's your web experience like at Silver Unicorn?
So we're very fortunate. The point of sale provider that I work with also provides my website, and so I'm very lucky in the sense that anytime I receive books or sell books, it automatically syncs on my website. So at all times you're seeing exactly what I have in the store online. We made a page called non-book items on our website where you can find, puzzles and cards and games and stuff like that normally you just pick up at the register. Now you can purchase it online, and we've seen a big uptick in sales of those things, especially with puzzles.
Yeah.
Puzzles have been insane.
I'm gonna buy some puzzles from you, and I didn't know you had them.
Oh yeah, the craziest part about it is, I think in the last month and a half we've stocked 30 different puzzles, but I can never get a repeat order in. It's just like you can get 10 of this one and then that's it. They're gone.
I've heard stores are out of stock of
Sounds like used books.
Yeah, it kind of is, Nicole. Yeah. It's been really hard to keep up with. At the beginning of the pandemic, we said, oh, maybe this will be popular, and we ordered 2 each of a bunch of puzzles. Well, they sold out in minutes.
It's interesting how some of the point of sale software and the inventory software that, not that long ago was the domain of like Walmart's, and that's how they destroyed competition. At least now they're available at scale to small businesses, which is, I guess, a powerful tool, right? That keeps.
It's tremendous.
I'll just say that the point of sale, we use Square, and I have been nothing but impressed with all that you can do with that. I don't think we'd be doing as well if we didn't have Square.
No, Square and Shopify and some of the other smaller independent ones like the one I use have really leveled the playing field in the best way possible.
So thank you both for joining me. It's been great, and I wish you well navigating the pandemic and returning to normalcy whenever that happens.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Paul.